Welcome all of you. So in this video we are going to take up how to do your science well, how to do CBSE science well. Okay, because in CBSE science students generally have one problem. They feel that the NCERT textbook doesn't have anything, there's hardly anything to study. That's what they feel. Okay, now how to overcome these difficulty, how to do better in science, let us see. There are about a few points. See till the end of the video, because in the end of the video I shall be giving one point that is that's a sure shot method of doing well in science. Okay, so please see the video till the end, and in case you have not subscribed the channel till now, please subscribe the channel, because many more videos are going to come up related to exam preparation. Okay, so let's start. Now in CBSE science, the NCERT textbook is the main textbook. Okay, you can do numericals from other textbooks. You can go for ICSE textbooks and pick up similar numericals in light, electricity. Okay, these are the main two chapters that you will have numericals in physics. Okay, so you can pick up numericals from those for practice. Okay, but the types has to be from the ones given in the NCERT textbook. Okay, now in the NCERT, so we cannot forget the NCERT textbook, that is our guideline. Now in the NCERT textbook, the first thing is read your textbook well. Whether it is physics, chemistry or your bio, read your textbook well, because I have noted very clearly one thing, that the questions are based on the topics of the NCERT textbook, but they never go beyond anything that is given in the textbook. Okay, so you will have to read the textbook thoroughly. Okay, read text, that's the first point. Now second point. The second point is, there are some questions given at the end of every chapter. There are some questions given in every chapter, physics, chemistry or maths, theoretical questions, along with that numerical questions also are given. So do the questions. Okay, do the questions from behind, from the exercise. Okay, now if we do this much, that is also not enough. If we do that, this much is also not enough. There are questions inside the textbook in small boxes. Okay, sometimes pink, sometimes blue boxes. There are questions that is in between, till whatever has been done in the chapter. Based on that, in between the chapter, there are lots of questions. Okay, so do the questions in the chapter. Do the questions inside the chapter. Inside the chapter as well. Okay, now what can be the fourth thing? Write all chemistry equations in one place. Write all equations in one place. It will be easy for you to remember. When you write them, write with the conditions, whether it is exothermic, endothermic, whether it is a reversible reaction, whether it is a displacement reaction, or and also the name of the reaction. Like you have the Thermid's reaction, or you have the chlor-alkali process. Okay, so write down the name of the reaction, because they sometimes ask you questions based on the name. They'll just give the name. Okay, so that way also, what is the usefulness of Thermid's reaction, that also, so you get prepared as you write the equations. So all equations in one place. Fifth one is all formulae, physics and electricity in one place. All formulae in one place. Okay, that's the fifth thing. Sixth, now what is the sixth thing that you should do? Practice the light diagrams. In the entire physics part, the diagrams are mainly in light. Okay, and in light there are lots of diagrams. So practice light diagrams. Don't just look at them. If you just look at them, I can tell you for sure, you won't be able to do them in the exam correctly. So practice them by seeing from the textbook, and then by not seeing in the textbook. Okay, then what's the seventh thing? Now there are some diagrams of magnetic lines of force also. They will ask you questions on how are the magnetic lines of force drawn outside the magnet and even inside. That's a very common question asked in CBSE. Okay. Now the seventh question, the seventh thing. Behind the chapter, there is a whole list of points given. Okay. Sometimes they call it what we learned, things to remember, something like this will be written, and right behind the chapter before the exercises, every chapter has it. Okay, so that things to remember. So that is one thing you should not miss, every chapter, because if you look closely in that, you will see that most of them are full of, they have lots of definitions that is sometimes not even given in the chapter. Okay, lot of definitions are there, even lot of small concepts are explained there. So you should not miss that part of the chapter as well. So now what is the eighth question? What is the eighth point? The most important point, okay, the point which is going to give you sure shot better results in CBSE science. Let's listen to that. Now what is the eighth point? The eighth point is you have to take up one chapter at a time, and you have to sit with it and maybe give 1.5 hours to each chapter. Okay, depends on the length of the chapter, and you have to read it, and you have to frame about 30 to 35 questions on an average from every chapter. Okay, frame questions is my eighth point. I am not asking you to write the questions, write the answers. I am only asking you to make a question paper. Of course, you will know the answers to it. They are in the textbook. But then from the theory part of it, I am not asking you to make numericals. But from the theory part only, read the chapter and you will be in a position to understand what are the things. You can say define maybe 1 volt. Or you can say what is a displacement reaction with one example. Okay, so that kind of why copper sulfate and iron, what is the reaction between copper sulfate and iron, very very important reaction. Why is there no reaction between copper sulfate, iron sulfate and copper? Okay, so things like that you have to write about 30 to 35 questions. Chapters like metallurgy or acid bases can actually have more questions. Okay, so you will have to list down about 30 to 35 questions. By the end of it, you will see that you know the chapter much better. What I am telling you to do, that what we as teachers do, okay, we do frame questions. Okay, you do that job. Okay, I am not asking you learn only those questions. Please don't misunderstand me or misinterpret me. So this is, you have to frame questions for knowing the chapter well. Once you frame questions from the chapter, you will be knowing the entire chapter very very well. So that is one thing. If you can do this for all the chapters in your science portion, you will yourself feel much confident, much more confident, because everything in the chapter, the questions behind the exercise also does not cover the entire chapter. There will be still things left behind. Okay, so for that I am saying you have to do the entire chapter. You have to frame questions from the entire chapter. When you frame questions, see to it that you are not copying the questions from the exercise of the chapter. Please don't do that. Okay, please don't copy any questions from there. That the whole purpose is not met. Okay, so you should do as I said. So these are the 8 things which should give you. Of course, there are numericals to try. Yes, you have lots of numericals. I can't miss the numericals. Okay, you will do the numericals. I don't have to tell that. Okay, so there are light numericals and there are electricity numericals. Okay, so lots of numericals are there. In electricity, I have made a video on what are the different types of numericals that can be made from the chapter electricity. Okay, so this is it. Wish you all the best for your exams. See you in the next video. Bye then.